the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
Hey guys, this is Raka and welcome to the Streamer Reviews, where gaming streamers gonna review the best new gaming laptops in the market. And today we are looking at the Intel powered Asus ROG Zephyrus S17, a laptop which stands for its amazing multitasking capabilities. As a streamer, I need my system to stream, game, record all at the same time. Having tested it, I'm quite thrilled that this laptop can actually handle it. And if you're wondering how, it is all thanks to the 11th gen Intel Core i9 processor, which gives your laptop a desktop caliber performance. With 8 cores, 16 threads and Intel Turbo Boost Max technology 3.0, it is capable of running several tasks without worrying about bottlenecks. So multitasking also leads to some heating issues, but luckily the S17 has its active aerodynamic system plus, which improves the airflow and enables long hours of streaming while keeping it cool. While choosing for a laptop, I also look for fast connectivity options for my accessories such as Stream Deck and capture card. But thankfully, the S70's Intel Thunderbolt 4 is very sorted in this regard. This one port lets me connect to all my accessories easily thanks to its blazing fast bandwidth speed up to 40 Gbps. Overall, I think the Asus Zephyrus S17 is a great laptop for streamers, gamers, or anyone with the similar needs. So what are you waiting for? Bring yours home today.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LG Ultragear presents Tec Gauntlet Season 4, powered by Crucial, Gaming Partner Intel, and of course, Accessories Partner 656. We are back with yet another set of matches, and today, with the Gauntlet resuming yet again, we've got a pretty great match in store for you. Me alongside Clips are going to take you through this one, and this is a big one, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Enigma Gaming going up against God Particles, a match that in a little bit of recent history has taken over a lot of fire around it, and I'm really excited for this one.
Oh boy. These two teams are the biggest names in Indian Valorant right now. From nowhere to the #1 position, Enigma Gaming have established themselves as the kings of Indian Valorant in the last 2 weeks. Whether it's outside of Gauntlet or in any other tournament, Enigma Gaming is kicking ass. And oh my god, these guys have improved so much ever since Excali has joined. And it's not just him that's making an impact. Everybody on this roster seems to be stepping up. On the other hand, God Particles, they've been knocking on the doors of Tier 1 Valorant in India for a very long time, and it's about time that Success answered that door. With these two teams going up against each other, I feel like this is going to be an absolute banger of a match.
Most certainly is. I think we've seen these two teams face off before, and I think it's going to be a little bit more, competitive today, just because of the fact that this is a little bit for God Particles to show whether or not they can beat Enigma at all. Because in the recent past, it's been difficult for them to get on the trails of Enigma. They have beaten, Velocity before, but it's time for them to step up here. Let's go to the MVP standings just to see if anybody is there. We know one person for sure, that is Raw Fuel, who is at the top of the table and clearly sitting. From the last time we saw him, he had 118 kills, and in one match, he's made up 60 kills.
Yo, 60 kills. That's like what,
Mm-hmm.
30 per map, assuming they ended it in two maps. Oh my
Yeah,
god, Raw Fuel is absolutely on fire, and it's about time that he took his lead. Although I must say that Sammy and Paradox aren't that far behind. The number of
indeed.
kills they have is more or less the same, and so is the number of MVP titles that they managed to acquire. Although I must say that Sammy has a much higher ACS than any one of these people.
That is true. Sammy does have a pretty good ACS, but Shooter also has 296. So
Yeah, that's
we're
even
yet to
better.
see we're yet to see Shooter come back into action. We will as soon as we see Team Exploit come back. But for now, let's go to the group standings and see where exactly both of these teams stand and how are they going to be facing off each other and shift up their positions. Because right now, Enigma. Oh, okay. I thought God Particles were actually in third, but this is a top of the table battle, and this can't get any better because this is going to decide who's going to be probably ending up in the top spot at the end of the group stages. And given that we are coming near the end, it's just three more matches, including this one for both of these teams. This is going to settle who is going to get the top seeding.
The Clash of the Titans. Here it is. Enigma and God Particles, like I said, they've climbed up to the top of Gauntlet ladders, and it's about time that they ascend each other. Now, the success at Gauntlet is just one part of what makes a great team. There's a lot of tournaments that TC has coming in store for you guys. We'll reveal about them quite soon. But these two teams, consider where they were a month ago, right? God Particles was not even considered a tier 2 team at that point, and now look at them. They are giving Global Esports, Velocity Gaming, Enigma Gaming a run for their money. Although I
Indeed.
must point out that even though they have faced a lot of top tier South Asian teams in the recent weeks, they haven't faced Enigma Gaming since last month.
Yep.
Yeah, the last time these two teams faced each other was in the Zotac Cup, which was held on this very channel, and that happened on 12th January. So it's been quite a long time since then.
Yeah, and since then, God Particles themselves, as well as Enigma, both have grown,
Yeah,
exponentially,
yeah.
giving VLT and Global Esports quite a bit of competition. It's no more just those two dominating the scene right now. We've got two more names coming up there. Let's go to one of those and have a look at the boys in black and pink. And well, currently they are the absolute best of the best. RVK, Antidote, Hika, Raw Fuel, Rexy, and of course, we've got Excali, who is not on the screen, but is definitely a huge part of this team. They've been on a roll since this roster revamp has happened. Uh, from way back when we've seen Enigma Gaming still be at the top when we had, Batman and got Vexy still in the roster, Easy still in the roster. From then to now, Enigma's grown so much with these new star-studded players that have come into it. And honestly, this is the perfect, I want to say, antidote that was needed for the top tier Valorant scene so that there could be more teams heading into the tier one, side of things and give Velocity and Global Esports a reality check.
Oh, a reality check indeed is something that all the other teams will receive. But even God Particles, on the other hand, is doing really well, right? Enigma Gaming, sure, they had their superstars, but if there is one person that I would put in the spotlight, it's gonna be Mr. RVK. This guy has grown so much. He's literally had a glow up from his position last year to this time. Even Antidote, for that matter, has gone through so much and he's emerged as a completely new person. But let's take a look at who's going to be on the spotlight this time around, powered by Crucial.
Well, it has to be the man himself, isn't it? The one and only Raw Fuel, atop of the MVP standings, and of course, he is on top of the world right now, with everybody telling that this guy is potentially, if not the best, one of the best jets around. his raw skill and his ability to not give two damns about who is in front of him, dashes in completely, fearless about whatever fights he takes, good with the operator, good with the rifles, and just such a agile player who will make sure that your team gets the space that they need. And all he needs is just one recon, I believe, from his team, or just one piece of information to clear out one corner, and he will do the rest for you. And today, if the side of Enigma are going to be going ahead to get a win, this guy is for sure going to be a big part of that.
Definitely. And even though Rafuel has that raw firepower, which, is a play on his word, he is not the aggressive kind of jet that you will see something from the likes of maybe SK Rossi or maybe from someone like Shooter. He's a little more conservative. He doesn't take as many risks as those guys take. And I kind of like that. His jet is a much more disciplined and measured approach jet that relies on the back of his recon darts from his teammates and maybe even Astra utility from Antidote sometimes. So he knows which angles he wants to clear out, which angles he will have an advantage in. So his team sets him up for success. And even in situations when he's required to make a move of his own without the help of his teammates, this man will surely find a very safe way to do so, which means his team can always retain the man advantage and he doesn't unnecessarily end up putting his team in trouble. That's the best part
Yeah.
about Raw Fuel.
Yeah, that surely is. But who has he got for competition is Knight Rider. But whether he's in the spotlight, let's find out after we go through the roster of God Particles, the squad that quite honestly has risen up by a huge level in the past couple of months. When we saw these guys way back in the F1 roster, Skargod, Shivi, Knight Rider, along with Rafa, this was, one of the, again, top tier one squads that was in the scene. But after they fell out and they had gone through a couple of other rosters, now they're here as God Particles with Logista, in this roster as well. This has become really, really good for them. I think the way that they've honed around everybody's, ability to try and be versatile. Skargod, especially being, the one player who moves around two roles, three roles if need be. He can play the Astra, he can play the Initiator role, he can even play the duelist role. And the team just, has this set of players who are pretty good with not just one agent. They can don many agents, they as many agents as they want, and the team still functions just the same. So individually, pretty good. As a team, they've grown into what they are. But how long can they keep going? With this force, with this momentum, is a question because Enigma are looking like they might just put a stop to it in the gauntlet as well.
Yeah, that could very well be the possibility today. Enigma can definitely take on a team of God Particles caliber, but then this is also like an underdog team which is rising to occasion. There used to be a time when this was a very deadly team on a map like Split or Bind, but
Mhm.
recently the members of God Particles have expanded their map pool to include the likes of Haven and Icebox as well. So that kind of stuff is incredible, and seeing the growth from this team is just absolutely inspiring. Let's take a look at the player spotlight powered by Crucial, and we'll take a look at which one of those players that you should be keeping your eyes on today.
Well, it had to be Knight Rider, didn't it? Because, well, we've got a battle of the Jets today.
Yeah.
It is going to be a Knight Rider against Rafael going up, and I'm interested to see what exactly are going to be the maps that we're going to be playing on. Because every time we've seen Enigma come on stage, they've had the bind pick come in, because that is quite literally their map right now. They've defeated teams 13-1, 13-2, 13-3 on that map in the last 2 months. And I'm interested to see how Knight Rider is going to be functioning, because like we said, Knight Rider is one of those jets who will take risks, and Raw Fuel is not. So their duel is going to be interesting to see who exactly wins, because this man is not that far away from the MVP board either. He's got 176 kills, 151 deaths, and 27 assists with an ACS of 235. I think he's about place 5 or 6, if not any further. So yeah, this is going to be his chance to push his team across the line as well. And either one of these teams, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be going unbeaten through the season if they only win this match, that is. And this is the biggest stepping stone, I believe, for both of them. Top of the table, stakes couldn't be higher for either of them. It's all about the glory. It's all about the first place finish and who gets to boast that off. Let's go to the map video and find out where exactly this huge war is going to take place.
So we start with Split. No surprises over there. We always knew that God Particles is a damn good team on Split. but they're starting on the attacking side, which means they get to dictate the pace of the game. Then we move on to Haven, a staple pick of Enigma Gaming. So again, nothing to write home about. Both the teams are starting off with their stronger maps, and I must say, I'm not surprised. I kind of expected this. Although Bind being left in as a decider, that kind of puts me in a little bit of a nervous spot. Both the teams have left it open because this is the neutral map for them both. I mean, we've seen Enigma Gaming be very disciplined on Bind. On the other hand, God Particles are the ones who, even though have a somewhat of a measured playstyle in most of the maps, when it comes to Bind, this team just goes into monkey brain mode, and in a good way. Like I saw the VCC game of God Particles when they were playing against Global Esports on Bind, and oh my god, the way they bait their teammates and still make it work made me surprised. Like I was questioning the essentials of Valorant at that point. So if God Particles can pull off something like that again against Enigma, that would be so damn good to watch today.
Yeah, that most certainly would be. I think that God Particles have got this really good grip on Split. It's one of the maps that global esports were good on, and them beating them on that map is, well, at least giving them tough competition is one good sign of them improving.
Mhm.
Haven, on the other end, is something that I did not expect Enigma to pick, but I knew that they are good on it. They might be wanting to try something different today because every time Bind has been in the mix, they've gone absolutely, untouched. You just cannot beat Enigma on Bind. At least in the last couple of months, it's been the case. They haven't been beaten on Bind. And it is there in the map pool, that is for sure. That is if we go to a map number 3, which is a possibility in today's match in particular because God Particles on Split are just as good. Whereas I'm not too confident about Enigma on Split. I know that they've got the lineup of, they've got a particular lineup that they play with. They've got Excali on the Raze, they've got RVK on the Viper, they've got, of course, Offfuel on the Jet, and they play the double duelist composition here as well, which is what they've been carrying across multiple maps. But I think that God Particles might just have this in the bag, and we might just see a map number 3.
Well, whether or not we see a map number 3 will depend on how Haven goes, because I really think Split will be a pretty damn tough affair. I think this map could even go into overtime. Although I really have s- a little gut feeling that Haven will be taken over by Enigma Gaming without any problems whatsoever. Either way, we'll discuss Haven later. Let's jump into Split first. Let's start with the agent selection and see what these guys have in store for us.
Well, like I said, RVK going immediately for that Viper pick. It's going to be no surprise there. The Enigma is one of those lineups that picks it up, and looks like the side of God Particles are going to be going with the same Logista with the Viper, double controller on their side, a double controller and a double duelist, one initiator,
And
no sentinel. Okay,
by either of the teams.
yeah,
So if they start backstabbing each other and this turns into a game of looks, everyone's just going to be second guessing themselves. I
yeah,
really
indeed.
want to see how a game without Sentinels pans out by none of the teams. Although the choice of the initiator for Shivi is more or less known to us, Rexy still
Hmm.
hasn't shown us what he's going to take. Usually he picks up the Sova, but will he do so in a map of Split? I guess not. So what's it going
Okay.
to be? Is it going to be the Breach? Is it going to be the Sky? Will they fight each other with the exact same lineup?
Mm.
There's
Well,
a lot
looks
of
pretty likely.
possibilities over here.
Yeah, I think that the KO meta has come into quite a bit of teams now. I think slowly, even though, KO's been that agent who was introduced, who was good in the beginning, he's been good
Select your
overall,
agent.
but nobody really, kind of realized his potential. And now okay, Logista just changes his mind and we go with no KO. Thanks
Yo,
for baiting me into talking about KO. Thank
yo.
you. Wait, did I?
Okay.
Scargod on Jet, Knight Rider on Reina, Okay, what? I'm sorry, what is happening?
Yeah, it seems like these guys have deliberately done this to bamboozle us.
Okay.
Bamboozle each other. You're supposed to play mind games with their opponents, not with the casters. What did we ever do to you? Oh my god, I feel so
Well,
violated right now. Either way, a radar is something I never expected. A jet in the race is something we've seen on Split very often, but come on, Arena on Split? Most of the angles are so close, your lure will be absolutely useless. So, what are you gonna do? Play mid with it? I guess so. I want to see how this pans out.
I mean, there is one thing that, that Reina is very versatile. I think that Reina's a,
Of course,
versatile.
it's versatile for sure, but is Knight Rider the right pick for Reina?
I mean, Skargod could have gone with. I don't know why exactly has this change come in. But
Yeah.
both the teams clearly baited the entire viewers count and us as well. So this is going to be good. This is going to be interesting because we've got even raw fuel on the chamber, by the way. Just saying. And a single duelist for Enigma. Let's move into the match, ladies and gentlemen. God Particles against Enigma. A series of weird choices of agents could lead to an entertaining match.
Yeah. I mean, what's even weird is seeing raw fuel on an agent like Chamber. Sure, the teleport mechanism allows him to speak out like a jet does, but come on, the lack of movement on his side is just not heard of. Oh my god, Scar God getting absolutely free kills on Excali as he walks into B-Heaven, losing his mind and losing his head. Scar God continuing to blow stuff off. Did he actually just try to go for a knife onto Scar God, who's already on a massive killing spree? Okay then. Okay, I guess.
Well, this match has started off already to be quite
A
an
head
interesting
scratcher.
one.
Yeah, a head scratcher for sure.
Head scratcher with a comb made of spikes.
Yep.
That's exactly what's happening. I have no clue what is happening, but I think I have a feeling we're gonna enjoy this quite a bit much. Raw fuel going aggressive could be good with maybe one. Gets blinded. Okay, now the rain earlier works.
Yep. But he's still gonna peek ahead of the smokes, hoping to get maybe one pick off or two. That doesn't happen. Both of them go down immediately, and God Particles are more or less in control of the site. Although there is a very quick backstab coming in by Rexy. And he doesn't get detected by the chamber utility. It's a bit too late. He gets one kill at the very least. But maybe that's all she wrote for him. Unless he finds a way to blind these guys, and that hasn't happened. He's used up all his flashes. Maybe we get to see some SEAL Team 6 action going up and down on the ropes. Antidote obviously good for one. Nice dink onto Logista, but he still gets the frag. I mean, we never expected much from Enigma in this round because it was an eco anyway. But hey, with these guys pulling off such massive backstabs in just seconds of them losing the A site is damn good. It kind of means that the players of God Particles are going to have to be on their feet all the time.
There's no point in saving that Spectre. He's gonna have a buy anyway, so might as well die. Ooh, turns around, Ember, and okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
A head scratcher with a little bit of comedy involved.
So,
Perfect way to start the week, isn't it?
oh yeah, of course it is. I mean, he just did not want. He just hated giving a kill away to Ember, so he just wanted to go right to the spike. But Ember's like, no, you're mine.
Yeah, I mean, he died anyway, but it kinda... I mean, we know that he was only trying to avoid the survival penalty, right? The one you get if you manage to stay alive at the end of the round. So he died anyway. Doesn't matter whether he gives up a free kill to Ember or not. He's just that closer to his Cosmic Divide with that. But Scar got taken out of the smoke without flashes, without teammates, without backup. Kinda seems like a bit too much to me. And I hope he's sold this fake well enough because his life going down on B at least lets his team enter the A side and spike the plant. So I guess that's a good fake. Small price to pay for a spike plant.
Raw fuel. That's a little too close. Logista somehow did not end up firing towards him. I know not for what reason, but hope it works out for them in the end because that could have cost them the round if at all anything. Ember swings around, finds one, but he's got two more. Did not take care of them. United are holding around the corner, will get support from Logista, finds one more. And here's God Particles completely taking over split. 2 versus 2. Antidote moves in but will not find Knight Rider. And this is another God Particles round looking in the making. RVK confused when he should peek, and he will get peeked from elbow to get killed. That is going to be number 3 for God Particles and a good start for them on the attacking side.
Definitely 3 rounds in a row, surviving the bonus and the subsequent buy round puts Enigma Gaming on an eco now. Will they take any risks or will they continue to play their defaults? At least we saw that in the first round, not the first round, sorry, the second round, Enigma were really quick on the backstabs. So maybe we get to see some fast mid control from Enigma in this round. And even if we don't, we at least get to see a mid stack with 3 people.
Most certainly. Although we do have them playing on Sheriffs and a couple of people on half armors. This is Enigma giving away number 4 as well, potentially, if not for a Thrifty coming in out of the blue. But God Particles look like they don't really have that much of, I want to say, I don't want to say that they are completely dismantled with the way that they've chosen the agents. Kargot's still performing as well as he would perform on Raze on Split. Knight Rider slowly settling into the Reina. While the remaining 3 are kind of the same. Shivi is playing his role. And Enigma, the one's actually struggling because Raw Fuel playing the Chamber is a little surprising, that's for sure, because I think this is the first ever time we've seen Raw Fuel on this agent. Given that this man can have an operator at any given point, he also needs to play the role of a sentinel, which means he cannot dash in anywhere, he cannot create space for his team, and all of that has to be done by Excali alone. That's a little bit of an issue.
I mean, he can take some peaks on certain angles where he can teleport back to safety, but again, not his comfort agent. We've seen RVK on the chamber sometimes, but not Rocky. Either way, Enigma with their double control setup have a lot of versatility, so they get into the side after... they try to get into the side after the spike is being planted, but I don't think it's gonna be possible. The superior weaponry just not letting them through at all. Yes, Rexy has some nice shots to connect. He does get one, tagging onto Shivi, almost getting the kill. It's so unfortunate Shivi can't really heal himself, but his other teammates are more than up for peeking. They might even be able to recover weapons out of this one. There's one gun just on top of this box, so if they can somehow get that, it will be good enough.
Okay, his Sheriff not singing the tunes, but Rexy's Marshall is causing damage. A little bit, but it is enough, I feel, in terms of economy. That's another round. Number 4 comes in and Rexy is going to die to the spike, but that's exactly what he wants. He did not save that Marshall for the next round. Enigma yet again with a buy, and Raw Fuel pulls out the operator for the first time. This is where the game starts, ladies and gentlemen. This is where Enigma need to set their foot on the ground, because if they don't find this round, Split is just going to split apart in front of their faces, and they're going to have no chance to glue it back together.
Definitely, this is a very important run for the side of Enigma Gaming. Not only economically, but also in a matter of momentum. If they lose this, then God Particles will have more than enough money to carry them forward in the next few rounds. Op versus Op duo, and Rockfield still trying to commit, doesn't dash back, and Knight Rider more than up for the task. While they do get a pick on mid, they have lost Gargoyle. Will they make up for it?
They're not able to. They're moving in towards mid over here, Enigma. Blind takes out a little bit of space between these two, but look at RBK. He's what? Ember, no, you did not miss that. Knight Rider's been spotted out, and he's going to be taken out as well. Rexy doing the job with his ultimate, thankfully. RBK, no wonder how he got that kill onto Ember, but it's happened, and now he's going to be healed up as well. 3 versus 2. The A side is going to be taken, but they're still a little close to danger. An Antidote says, here I am to protect my team's first round. And it is securing it as well. Number 1 for Enigma, and a much needed one as well.
What a weird way to win a round by the side of Team Enigma. Sure, the players of God Particles managed to get control of Vent and Rope Room, but not in the way you would imagine. Not via taking mid, but by actually taking a ramp. And in process of doing so, they ended up losing their lives, even though we thought that RBK was a dead man when he jumped down that area. Somehow, Ember still wins the duel, and even after all of that, the round did not go in the favor of God Particles, because instead of planting it quickly, they just focused on killing the players on mid first. Very innovative approach, but it doesn't pay off dividends. But I think God Particles are fine with it. The fact that they were able to pull off a maneuver like this itself shows that there's so many chinks in the armor of Enigma, so they can keep doing whatever they're doing. Early engagements towards both A and mid that these teams are taking just depend on trades. And we've seen so many instances where we have multiple kills going towards either team in the first 10 seconds of the round, and then the rest of the round is a 2v2, 3v3, something along those lines. So there's very clear distinction of where action happens and when it does not happen, right? The first few seconds of the round, there's always going to be 3 or 4 kills. Then there's a lull phase where these teams make their moves, and depending on wherever the chamber has placed its utility, these teams try to find the chink in the other guy's armor. Of course, with varying results.
Well,
I mean, you see the patterns developing, but
yeah.
the movement of these patterns is just so random. Like, that round was something that you probably won't see in any other game.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, the way that, these guys have been developing their, duels in the first couple of rounds has been like exactly what Clip said. Now, again, they go towards mid for the same sort of thing. Looking for control. ScarGod is being a little aggressive. There is a flash, but RVK is just too good. He will handle himself and he will be able to take out ScarGod's push. But Ember will get an immediate trade. That's the controller going down for the side of Enigma. But Excali will trade back immediately. Logista, he's got antidote. Things are going back and forth. Trading spree over here. And Ember's got the upper hand for his team. 3 versus 2. Enigma have to wait.
Yeah, like I said, early duels towards either mid or towards A will take place, and this time most of them are towards mid, of course, and it's Team God Particles who have more numbers. Siege is committed, they find one on B, but the others are moving towards the mid region, which can tell that this area is only being defended by Rexy alone, and he doesn't have enough firepower to let them stray off the side. So he's gonna have to give it up anyway. God Particles go for the plant, and Rexy really can't do much. He's gonna have to wait for Raw Fuel, who might have no idea about Shivi's position. There you go, unfortunate kill for Raw Fuel. And Rexy pull off his 1v3. Seemingly not. The pressure a bit too much for him.
God Particles, as expected on split, are taking things into their own hands. And they're absolutely finding themselves in comfortable positions to try and win not just duels and trades, but rounds consecutively as well. They gave away one, but immediately hitting back with another is exactly what they were hoping to do, and they have done it. And that has forced the hand of Excali to bring out a judge in this round. And he seems... Is he gonna be... Oh, I hope he does. Is he gonna satchel past them?
I really want to see one of those moves.
Oh,
well, he certainly has someone heading towards him, and even though he was getting gravity weld, there's no stopping him. One shot to the face, and that's enough to take care of ScarGod. But while that's happening, Rexy has already been picked off. And look where! He's been picked off all the way towards the sewers region. That's how fast he pushed out. If that's the pace that Enigma keep up, then God Particles are going to have to be on their feet on mid. Logista finding antidote isolated over here. Will he go for the pre-fire? Antidote can't connect it. So they somehow equalized it back to a 3v3. But at this point, all the attackers are so spread out, they have no semblance. Cosmic Divide goes up on A, but look at Shivi, he's already towards this part of screens. So this Cosmic Divide is a fake, and Excali calls the buff. He pushes all the way through it. He realizes that this Cosmic Divide is fake, and they now start to move towards the A side. But the spike isn't there yet. Everyone from both the teams is so isolated that there's literally no trading potential.
Logista, he's taken out RVK coming in from mid, and that is a good rotation kill. But there is still the danger of Raw Fuel lurking around here. That smoke screen just could be enough.
30 seconds
Raw
left.
Fuel needs to be the hero of his team here. The spike's still not gone towards the side here. Ember is aware of things being a little bit dangerous around this side. Now he's running in, but Raw Fuel's more concentrating on the Went side. He sees him, takes the spike down. This is a chance for Raw Fuel to win another round for his team. He's got the spike out in the open. The flash comes in. It's all about timing, and Logista finds the better of it. There's the plant going down just in time, and it's all on to the Excali man to find the clutch here.
Oh god, what a bait and switch on the side of Team God Particles. I was getting really nervous because the spike hadn't made its way towards the side with like 20-something seconds remaining, even though they had control of the side for the majority of that part. And I was worried that the smoke will run out, Raw Fuel will have line of sight, he will get the spike carrier killed, and he did exactly that. That's when my anxiety started to skyrocket. But somehow, one well-timed peek from mid-vent killed Raw Fuel and enabled these guys to recover the spike and go for the 6th round in a row. Oh my lord. I'm not gonna say that it was perfect, but hey, it worked. We've been seeing this kind of playstyle from God Particles ever since the start of VCC, and for them to continue using it and honing it to the extent where it works against every team is incredible. Unbelievable too. But that shot from Antidote, of course, is unbelievable as well. Can he hold on? ScarGod pushes wide. Antidote ready for this one. No trade potential, so he's able to get both these kills. Now how do God Particles recover?
Well, they recover by letting Logista do his bit, but he's covered by every single angle. Raw Fuel is right around the corner, and he could be finding him. Oh, he sees that. He did not see him. Now he sees him. thankfully, and he's gonna be able to take him down. Knight Rider giving a lot of sound away over here, slowed as well. He's gonna try to escape from that angle. He's gonna save himself towards ramps. It is still a 3v2 though, so it's still not impossible for the side of God Particles. They most certainly can get this round in their favor. All they need is one good pick, and that's Raw Fuel. He's sitting in a corner which could be taken out by Knight Rider, but Knight Rider is making strides towards the opponent's spawn, and Raw Fuel actually might just be a huge issue for him. But never mind that. Never mind me saying anything.
Bro, like imagine being in Raw Fuel's shoes right now. There's Knight Rider up in A heaven, deliberately giving out sound cues, making footstep noises, putting his leer, being an absolute menace and distracting everybody. And he doesn't get punished for that. And Raw Fuel looks away for 1 second. That's when he gets killed by Ember of all people, who's not even on the site at that point.
Yep.
How on earth they're able to bamboozle Raw Fuel like that? 2-3 rounds consecutively is just beyond me. Either way, the 2v2 still seems fair enough, and Enigma might just still be able to take it, but Excali having an off-close range, not the best weapons. Can he do this? Knight Rider dismisses right in his face, and Excali, he's up for the race, but this is a race against time, and he's not gonna win this one.
Yeah, he definitely isn't. He's getting chased, but he will not be getting that chase for too long. Ember will die to the spike, but it doesn't even matter. The amount of economy that is built upon for the side of God Particles is completely invulnerable right now. You cannot touch it. You cannot do anything about it. God Particles are clearly right now the kings of split. And Enigma are struggling. Every single player actually. Nobody's really having, you know, like usually when we see like this kind of performance is coming from a team, there's always going to be one person who actually, even on the side that is, you know, on a huge deficit, will be able to try and make some kills happen, right? But everybody on Enigma is just not able to keep up with God Particles.
I think you hit the nail right on the head. I think that's exactly what God Particles is planning, right? Disrupt and confuse Enigma Gaming so much that they're forced to not play together, forced to cover multiple angles all by themselves. And you can't have one man covering so many angles, right? That's when you start to get picked off. And you'll notice this one pattern in God Particles' attack style. They always send a couple of the players ahead, but the spike will somewhere be towards the start of a spawn or, you know, just outside of mid. The spike carrier and at least two people will always be way in the back lines, whereas their teammates are already starting to take site. And backup will still not come through even if the site is taken. They're in absolutely no hurry to plant the spike. So God Particles really hinging on later on spike plants, hoping that Enigma Gaming will disperse and, you know, give themselves up. Let's see if this continues, because so far God Particles have been very successful at baiting out these mistakes from Enigma. And of course, with an eco round, kills are even easier to come by.
God leading the charge yet again. He is going to be faced by Raw Fuel, who misses the first shot. But here's Antidote trying to connect his. Excali will get one. Raw Fuel with two. And Enigma certainly have somehow turned this round around to their own selves. Versus two right now. Logista and Ember wondering what the hell happened on B Heavens. This should have been a round that was theirs. And Antidote trying to cover up for his teammates as much as he can with his smokes. Ember caught off guard yet again. RVK not going to miss with that Sheriff in his hands. Picks up a Phantom. He's got one more player to deal with, and he will get that kill. A Thrifty comes in for Enigma, and out of what even?
A thrifty round, huh? Just when you think Enigma is down, they find ways to surprise you. And I think they found the antidote to this venom, pun intended. Here's the problem, right? Enigma were getting split apart, and they were deliberately offering God Particles 1v1 fights. Even though it's not something that they wanted to do. God Particles forced those errors out of them. But now you notice the way Enigma was holding this site. They had two players just below Hell, one inside the actual spot, whereas one of them being Raw Fuel holding an off angle. The two people on the stairs region were also not very quick to come in and trade. They came in later on because they knew that Ember would try to sneak through. So if Enigma Gaming continue holding these crossfires together, God Particles will not be able to dismantle this defense. But the moment Enigma Gaming start getting separated, just like this, problems for Sun Merge. Now, Raw Fuel isolated. His teammates kind of have to defend this B take all by themselves. And Rexy is more than up for the task, turning around 180 degrees to slap Knight Rider in the face. That's the performance I wanted to see from Rexy. Still a 2v2 and the captain steps up. Enigma Gaming are more than prepared for this. They've figured out God Particle's playstyle. And I have a prediction to make. I think Enigma Gaming can make the 7-5. Unless, of course, Ember finds a way to pull the rabbit out of the hat and complete the magic trick.
Well, Antidote has an idea, and he's going to be able to make sure that Ember will not put any stops to their momentum building up right now. They won 2 in a row, 7-3, and they're getting closer and closer. And it looks like God Particles will just have to semi-buy or eco into this round. The economy is a little bit not looking that great. And it looks like Enigma have probably put in the one bullet in the skull that they needed to.
They are finally able to put God Particles' economy in check. After years and years of having economic breakdown themselves, they make God Particles taste their own medicine. Although, if you take a look at what the pattern has been like, Logista... Oh my goodness, that is not even cool, bro. Xcali must be mauling with that shot.
Well,
Either
not
way,
usually seeing Excali on the operator.
I mean, whether it's an operator or not, getting tapped away like that is definitely gonna hurt. Especially when you saved up 5,000 credits for the same. Oh my lord, and that's the spike down. Enigma Gaming have more than enough to make this round a success. And even though they lost Excali right at the beginning, it seems like that's gonna be a no factor. Knight Rider's pushes will be detected by the chamber utility, so no surprises over here. The only person who can probably make a difference is Shivy, and he's getting hounded. He's still being forced to stay all the way outside of B main, so he can't even make a move, and Knight Rider would have never expected RBK there in a million years. Even though Rexy had pushes like those, they still don't check it. So that's a little bit of error on the side of God Particles as well, not anticipating pushes like those. But at the same time, Enigma, I think they've definitely found the weakness what they were having, and they found a way to address that problem as well.
Yeah, and it's a good comeback into this half as well, because they could have let this slip away so quickly. But it looks like they've at least had this to come down to an 8-4, if not a 7-5. That's what they needed. Excali yet again with the operator. Not a scene that we would see every single day. Raw Fuel playing on the chamber is made that factor possible. But Excali can go in for the operator role with the raise as well. All things, and he is going to be succeeding. Gargot is going to be outplayed as the side of God Particles going in for the early fight, losing their player, and now making their stride slow because RVK has completely taken over the A main side.
No entry for you as he folds the site into his arms. And any other options that God Particles want to explore will be promptly shut down by Excali. Having the op back in his hands, he feels at home. But Raw Fuel also is more than ready. Tour de force, operators staring God Particles down in the face. And how on earth are they going to find a solution to this one? They're not even able to pull Enigma players apart one by one like they were doing in the first few rounds of this half. Ember finally winning another duel, and Shivy also. Both the oppers have been dealt with. The Tour de force and the operator now offline, turning it into a 3v3. And with 40 seconds left, I think God Particles have enough time to make this work. They must go for a brute force push. Antidote being the only one will have to bear the brunt of the action, and he can't receive backup from his teammates because of that cosmic divide. So he's stuck on an island over here, and this is not the kind of island you would want to be alone on unless you can line them all up, knock them down like bowling pins, and Rexy comes in for the final nail in the coffin. Enigma Gaming hold on, and they don't have the lead, but they definitely are in a much better position than what the half was shaping up to be.
Oh boy. This is a great comeback from Enigma Gaming, given their stature just a couple of rounds ago. They were 7-1 down, 7-2 down at a point, and they've made it back 7-5. Half is commendable, given the way that God Particles were playing in the first couple of rounds was just unstoppable. Now they're on the defense. This is something that they need to be afraid of, especially because Excali on the attack is somebody who's going to be running around with, you know, him being the main duelist as well. He's going to be satcheling into your face, running with a judge if need be. And he's, of course, got, you know, flashes for support as well. So let's see how they go in. Oh, that is good. Enigma expecting a push, sitting in that corner, doubling up. and telling Scargott to sit down.
Yeah, you had Rexy and Excali on top of each other, holding angles, forming a double turret of sorts. And no person can survive that. Even Scargod can't. Now that they have this pick, they've got plenty of options. B does look a little bit more secure with two people over here, but the moment I say it, Raw feels like, what even are defenders? We get rid of them. Well, they're just declining from this site. Turning away at the worst time possible. Oh my lord. Rawfield pulling off a massive chamber diff right there. An antidote surprising Shivy like that deep into stairs. No way that Shivy would have been able to see that coming. Even though Knight Rider somehow exacts revenge, there's no way he can pull off the rest of the round. Pistol goes in the favor of Enigma, and this might just look like the start of a massive comeback.
Well, if you look at it right now, you wouldn't really say that the first half was, that dominating from God Particles, right?
Yeah.
But just 4 rounds ago, this was a 7-1 scoreline. 5 rounds ago, this is a 7-1 scoreline. And anybody who's watching the match then to now would have seen how Enigma have just so calmly, there was a curve that God Particles were riding on. They just cut it off. And then God Particles absolutely had no answer. They're like, we just had this one plan. Now it's not working. What do? And Enigma just threw in curveballs after curveballs. And here's another one that they're throwing to their faces. Moving in towards B as they rush straight in. Chibi's around the corner. Rawfield's going to be able to take out one. And there's another from Excali. Antidote getting the third. And with that, the round is being secured. Knight Rider on a big, long backstab is probably going to be able to find just one. But Rexy gets away just in time. 4 versus 1. I don't think they're going to expect him in this position. But if they do,
why not?
Knight Rider's in for a treat.
Yeah, why wouldn't they? Oh lord, Antidote getting into yoga position at the wrong time. But hey, I mean, at least they had the right idea, right? Rexy put down his guiding light over there, hoping to find out whether he's there or not. Of course, the Sky didn't say blinded in her typical Australian accent, so Antidote thought he's safe. Doesn't matter, they still have more than enough weapons. I mean, 3 Spectres carried forward in the bonus round like that, and up against them is going to be a bunch of Phantoms and Vandals. Enigma kind of expected this, didn't they? This is exactly what they needed to.
No, I have an unpopular opinion to talk about, but I will do it after this round.
Okay.
But I will tell you, let's find out how exactly this mid push from Scargott goes in. Last time push towards A, got absolutely obliterated. This time towards mid, he's got support, but here's Excali with the Spectre, will not be able to connect the shots. The grenade as well is going to be denied because of the gravity pull thanks to Ember. And that's Enigma's mid push getting stopped in its tracks, and they move back slowly towards A, where RVK is trying to make a little bit of chaos happen with silence.
Although there are no defenders on the A side, there's only one, alarm over there from Chamber. In case it's triggered, they'll know that they are hitting A indeed, but there's no way to really stop them from entering. For the most part, Enigma will get away with this plant scot-free. They might even be able to get into screens and force area away from the side of God Particles. Backstab detected, they're all alert, and look at the push coming in from screens. This is massive. RBK pushing all the way through, denying area for them to even work with. Although that's not the typical position you would expect them to be in, right? Most of the defenders are now coming in from ramps, and I don't think Enigma are equipped to prepare to hold this unless they somehow find a way to push all the way towards this round corner, which Shivi was fighting in. I think that retake might be possible. Oh my
Perfectly
God.
positioned. Enigma have done a beautiful job of getting this A side. A little too much of free space given to them towards that A side because of that one trademark which was put down by the Chamber, Regista, that was supporting the defense. But the minute that was broken, okay, I saw the
Wow.
Okay, that's a lot of practicing about where the spike's gonna blow up till.
Yeah, I mean, he is so. I mean, he knows every single lineup, every piece of action, where the spike will stop. He's a man that likes to live on the edge.
Yeah. Now, talking about the unpopular opinion I had, right?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I love Astra, right? But I think that Astra is kind of mainstream boring because I think as a controller, you need to have some sort of, like every agent does, you need to have some sort of limits. But if you look at the Astra, she's got no limits in terms of not just utility usage of different kinds, but also, unlike the Omen, Brimstone, or Viper, she can literally place her smokes at any part of the map, being anywhere.
Yep. That's the best part, right? But then again, the UI kind of makes it difficult to use. Of course, these players make it look easy, but being in control of the entire area is not an easy task. Especially when you're up against the likes of God Particles. Now, even though you managed to get that one opening pick on mid, Enigma Gaming haven't really made any progress towards A. So, whether or not they're able to plant the spike is still going to depend on how they deal with this assault. They need to wait once again for the Astra smokes to be replenished. They've already used up all that they had, and now they most likely can't go towards A unless they wait for them to, replenish. So, how does that work? Hold on, they're going in without smokes. Okay, then that's brave. I commend whatever that they're trying to do, but will that be enough? I mean, Enigma are getting the kills, but they haven't been able to clear out Shivi from the screens region. Excali holding the off angle, out in the open, waiting for the challenge.
Oh,
and
man.
they win the challenges. Alright then, who wants to plant the spike when you can just deathmatch your opponents?
Indeed. 4 rounds in a row, Enigma have won. Forgive me, not 4. They've won 4 in this half and 5 from the previous half. So, forgive me, 4 from the previous half. So that's 8 rounds in a row that they've won from when they were back down at 7-1. And this is God Particles just throwing in the spoon and getting absolutely baby fed here. Enigma, like, we've got the airplane control. You guys are in for a huge turbulent ride. And the way that this comeback has tuned to the way of what Enigma have been planning is amazing. And it's just looking unstoppable right now.
Okay, very patient approach from Enigma this time. Still holding the angles, waiting for the players of God Particles to peek out, but those peaks are not going to come through from either A or B main. It's going to happen towards A, it's going to happen towards mid or nowhere else. Oh my god, Excali getting a pick towards screens already, so that's just a dead. And he's trying to create more space towards the A heaven region, but the spike is not going there. Take a look at Rexy, he's carrying the spike all the way from the attack spawn towards the B side where now RBK makes contact and he's cleared out. So Enigma have picks on both sides of the map. They have plenty of options for the taking. It's like a fat kid at the buffet. He doesn't know what to choose.
Skargod is gonna have to try and see where he can put his bullets to use to the perfect head, but will he be able to connect? No! Raw Fuel will find him. Not expecting somebody through that Viper wall without vision is a problem. And Ember's here running through to only be caught out by Trademark. And of course, Raw Fuel himself. 10 and 7 here, Crips. And this is absolutely a match that God Particles was supposed to win on paper. Was supposed to win in the first 8 rounds of this game. But now it looks like Enigma's been dominating them from the beginning. And it's just like, they let them have their fun for as long as they could. And now they're like, okay, daddy's come to play.
Oh my lord. It seems like you had quite a lot of experience with that, isn't it? Letting your, I don't know, maybe younger sibling win the first few rounds of whatever video game you played as kids and then destroying him.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot paint a picture like that. Although I must say that Excali is really fast as he moves in towards A main, and at the same time, Skargod moves all the way towards B main. So they're fighting fire with fire. Of course, you're gonna get your hands burned at some time or the other.
Oh, boy. Well, Enigma, they've done a pretty good job of taking care of Skargod's push. They expected it, and you could see how far back Antidote was holding it. And look at this weird positional change. Excali coming in from Wentz, finding Logista towards lower mid. And this is just God Particles being outplayed in every single way possible. There's a showstopper which Antidote will not let fruition because he wants the kills for himself. The captain, the IGL, and of course the controller main is leading the charge for his team with 18 kills. Raw Fuel bringing up his 17, and there's nothing that God Particles that are doing right now is not being read by Enigma. What a huge turnaround this map has been.
I know, right? You have to put yourself in Logista's shoes to feel true pain, like from the bottom of your heart. Imagine holding the vent room from the start of the round, not finding any kills over there, and then when you finally start to push out towards bottom mid, hoping to wrap around Enigma and maybe cause a backstab, you get shot in the head by an attacker who's in vent. before you can reach the bottom of sewers. Let that sink in. Let that sink in.
Well, it did definitely sink in the sewers for him. Well, Karkod goes for a mid duel and he gets immediately tapped out of existence. Raw Fuel will trade him. There's 3 ultimates available for the side of Enigma, but it doesn't look like they need them at all. Raw Fuel, all he needs is a Vandal to work with. Here's RVK taking out another push. Ember, no idea what he was looking at, but did not expect RVK to be there. And with that last penultimate kill that came onto Logista, Shivy is... Okay, RVK, now he's just playing with his phone. Man, this is just unfortunate. God Particles, they are not able to even give Enigma a bit of competition. 1 kill, that's all it comes down to. 2 kills at the max. Before the third comes in for the side of God Particles, they've already lost 4 of their players. And Shivy looking to hold on to one hope, and that is his Vandal, which I'm not quite sure how valuable is going to be, Crips, because this is going to be him and his team giving away match point to Enigma.
On their own mapping.
Do? Yeah, on their own map pick. And look at the economy of the rest of his teammates. They've got nothing. So even if Shivy saves this, he's going to be barely able to drop anything to his opponents. Maybe a Spectre at max. What can you do with that? Okay, there's one weapon
He gets
drop.
to save that. At least he carries forward that Vandal in the next round. So it's not all that bad. His teammates can probably compromise by not buying proper armor, going through with absolutely no armor at all. I mean, Knight Rider being a Reyna can afford to go naked in this round. If he gets a kill, he can overheal back up to 150 HP. But that being said, God Particles have nothing really left to defend this. They don't even have all the proper utility. And the side of Enigma Gaming, they haven't even shown us their true colors. They've got 3 ultimates ready, and I don't think they will need to use any of those ultimates in order to actually win.
Yeah, they most certainly don't need to. They've got more than enough in terms of their gameplay itself. But look at this mid push here. This could be very, very important for God Particles to try and make this number 8 and number 9 come back. Because Rexy is going to be walking straight into the crosshair of Skarkod. And there he is, completely unsuspecting. Excali will not be able to fire onto anybody. RVK will get it straight on the other side of the map though, but it's still a 3v4. The A side is open. The spike can go down. And look at where RVK is choosing to activate his ultimate. This is huge.
Oh, but the ultimate doesn't cover the entirety of the screen's region, so there's still a little passage from which they can sneak past. Unless Enigma account for this thing, I don't think God Particles can exploit this. Alright then, Big Gun's coming out, and Raw Fuel gets a kill with that Big Gun already. Skargod also right around the corner. He knows for a fact that he somehow managed to sneak in. Message relayed to Antidote, who's ready to intercept. So, Raw Fuel doesn't even need to do anything in order to make this round go in the bag of his teammates. Now he steps into the position that Antidote was once in, and he doesn't need the captain. He's got the Big Gun to finish off this game. Enigma Gaming, what a powerful performance. My goodness, it was downright scary seeing them in the second half, not conceding even a single round to the enemies, and just masterfully decapitating God Particles from 1,000 different angles, which they would never expect. Whew.
Just
What
to put
a
it
game.
in context, ladies and gentlemen, Enigma just won 12 rounds in a row. 12 in a row. They were 7-1 down, and they won 12 in a row across both halves. Now, if that is not a comeback plus domination, I don't know what is, because this has been a very interesting map. First, from the get-go itself, looking at the agent selection, from what we saw, we were debated into thinking, and what we ended up seeing, it's been quite a bit of an Enigma performance that we've seen. Let's go back to the match highlights and have a look at what exactly happened, because after that 7th round that came in and God Particles looking very comfortable, well, they pretty sure immediately went and sat on a chair of spikes, and they completely got, well, I mean, you know what happens after that.
Yeah, it's a bit pointy down at the bottom there. So we start off with the highlights, right? And you'll see several instances of individual kills happening here and there across the map. Not a lot of trades coming through from the side of God Particles, neither from Enigma Gaming, but that was all by design of God Particles. Their playstyle involved them playing defaults in such a widespread manner that Enigma Gaming will never be able to predict where they are coming. As a result, Enigma Gaming are forced to spread themselves thin and gather more information about what God Particles is doing. And then That's what God Particles were capitalizing on. They were hoping that Enigma Gaming will spread themselves so far apart that there will be no trades possible. You pick off Antidote all by himself, pick off Raw Fuel all by himself, isolate and exterminate. That was the name of the game for God Particles. And then Enigma realized that. So they're like, you know what? Screw this. We don't even want information. You can have map control if you want. Enigma Gaming held these crossfires towards B site and A site that just completely dismantled the side of God Particles as they came through. This triple kill from Rexy, and even the Thrifty round before that. That was the beginning of the comeback. When Enigma realized that their strength lies in numbers and playing together, that's exactly what they focused on. They forget about the fact that other parts of the map exist, and they're completely fine with letting God Particles have control of those areas. What will they do with that control if the numbers are thinned out to such an extent that God Particles always find themselves in 1v3, 1v4 situations? That's what Enigma Gaming decided to play as, and that's when the comeback started.
I mean, this has to be one of Enigma's best performances easily in the Gauntlet. Having gone from the side of God Particles' lower end of 1 to 7 to coming on top with 13 to 7 is quite a momentum to play upon. It's like they were riding on the biggest surf wave. They were just surfing around and trying to find out which wave works best for them. And the minute they saw God Particles, struggling with one particular region, they just went on and gave them a taste of their own medicine. But the one thing I do want to point out, Clips, is that God Particles had a good groove going, right? Like you spotted it out, like we all spotted it out. They were trying to do the isolate and exterminate thing. But after that, we didn't really see them change their methods. They were trying to go for the same thing. A couple of times they did. They went towards mid. They had their mid pushes come in. Even on the defensive side, they tried a lot. But once that groove was broken for God Particles, nothing was working. Individual fights came in after a long time of them winning because Enigma were getting the first picks like this. It was either Antidote, it was Raw Fuel. People who you wouldn't expect, forgive me, not Raw Fuel, Antidote and Rexy, people who you wouldn't expect to go out for the first duel because they are the utility based agents, were winning duels as if it's nothing. And the 3Ks and 4Ks that we saw from multiple people were just the best thing about Enigma so far. We will find out whether or not Haven is going to be a matter of a similar cause or our God Particle is going to be taking us to bind. We will be back with the TC Gauntlet Season 4 just in a couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
From the legends of memory and storage, Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products, precision engineered for speed and stability. Crucial Ballistics.
Hi guys, this is Zaya and welcome to Streamer Reviews, where gaming streamers review the best new gaming laptops. Gamers are an impatient bunch, and I've got a laptop just for you. Let's look at the top 3 reasons why the Acer Predator Helios 300 is perfect for the impatient gamer. Number 1. Its 11th Gen Intel Core i7 processor, which brings out the potential of the GPU's high-speed GDDR6 memory to ensure faster experience with higher frame rates and lower latency. Gamers hate long load times. That's why our second reason is the Helios 300's 2TB PCIe SSD. The SSD operates at PCIe Gen 4 speeds, giving you incredible read-write speeds for a faster response time. If all this wasn't enough, check out reason number 3. The 5th Gen Aeroblade 3D technology plus vortex flow, which lets you say goodbye to heating issues. Shout out to the Predator Sense dashboard, which lets you monitor your system, overclock, and customize everything instantly from one place. I think it's clear that this system is geared for super fast results. Get your Acer Helios 300 powered by 11th Gen Intel Core processor now.
the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
Hey guys, I'm Ankita. Welcome to Streamer Reviews, the place where you can watch gamers review the best new gaming laptops in the market. Gamers love exploring the vivid detailing of their favorite games. This demands a system that can support their immersive experience. So, we'll be checking out the Intel-powered Lenovo Legion 5, a laptop with features that let you dive into the exciting world of gaming. One of the most important aspects of the Lenovo Legion 5 is its 11th Gen Intel Core i7 processor, with a base clock speed of 2.3 GHz up to 4.6 GHz turbo. It flaunts 8 cores, 16 threads and 24 MB cache. The Legion 5 lets you untether your gaming experience with Intel Wi-Fi 6, ensuring you can enjoy your favorite games wherever you like. Play on the go with up to 75% less latency. The Lenovo Legion AI engine optimizes performance automatically to any of the top 16 AAA games you're playing, with auto detection dynamically allocating CPU and GPU usage accordingly to get up to 15% more FPS. Speaking of senses, there's another sense that's also important for an immersive experience: sound. Thankfully, the Legion 5 has this covered as well. A pair of stereo speakers enabled with dynamic audio gives you an immersive 3D audio experience. Why wait? Get your own Lenovo Legion 5 and dive into the world of gaming today.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, once again to the LG ROG presents TC Gauntlet Season 4, powered by Crucial, Gaming Partner Intel, and Apparel Partner 656. Now, this has been quite a bit of a first map that we've seen. God Particles were in control, at least for the first couple of rounds, and then immediately they gave way to Enigma climbing upon the mountain and taking it all for themselves. It was as if God Particles were never even in this race. It's been quite a bit of a journey for Enigma to make that comeback of 12 rounds consecutively happen, and now they are going to look forward to winning out their map as well. They are going to Haven, which is one of Enigma's maps that I haven't seen them recently play as much, but I really think that them choosing this has some sort of a backdrop to it. So, well, God Particles, ball's in your court. What are you going to do?
Try to hit it back, at least connect if it doesn't even go all the way through. The problem over here is God Particles had a very good plan in Split when they first came in. But the moment Enigma figured out that plan, they did not have a plan B. God Particles really couldn't do much after Enigma Gaming got into the groove and they figured out what they were doing wrong. So while the strat that God Particles created was not bad, it was the only strat that they had. They did not have any other pages in their playbook. So this time, obviously, Enigma Gaming, being the one with the heavier books, being the one with the better set of strategies, they were able to take the lead. And in a map like Haven, I think that's even better for a team like Enigma because they have so many variations of the same site execute. And I haven't even begun talking about all the different plans that they do have about the different sites. In just one site, they have so many variations that it will take God Particles a lot of time to figure out even one of them. And even if they manage to figure it out, sometimes Enigma Gaming can always fall back to another one. So, how will they keep up? It's all about a test of endurance now, keeping up with Enigma Gaming.
Well,
That's
let's
that could
find
be a
out.
reality show title, isn't it?
Uh, I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's for sure.
Would be
But
so much more entertaining than keeping up with the Kardashians. 100%, no cap.
I have to agree. I think I find everything in the world more entertaining than Keeping Up with the Kardashians. But hey, I'm not going to pull that show away from its credit from people who like it. But the show that we have on the road right now is Enigma trying to take this in another 2-0 victory. There has been only one game so far that they've played in the best of three series that they have lost one map in. Apart from that one map, every single game that they have played has finished in 7 rounds or lesser. That has been the story for Enigma in the entire Gauntlet series. Now, whether or not they're going to be able to continue that because they just did it in this one map, it's kind of a question that's wandering in the air right now. But I do expect God Particles to beat them by at least a little bit of a gap on Haven, and maybe maintain that gap until double digits on both sides, because that's what I would expect to see from God Particles given their recent form. Now, Haven is a map that I am a little confused about for God Particles, particularly because I don't really know what composition are they going to go with, Crips. It could be a dual initiator with Shivi and Scar God. It could be a duelist as well. Let's go to the selection and find out whether it's going to be Scar God and Knight Rider pairing up, or is it going to be Scar God and Shivi pairing up with the initiators. We've got Ember already locking in. RVK with that Killjoy, which I have dearly missed watching. Excali is going to be locking in the Sky as we would expect. He usually plays a Sky on this map of Haven. Raw Fuel is back to his usual self with the Jet coming in as we would love to see it. Shivi actually playing the Chamber. Okay, this is interesting.
At least Shivi is picking up the roles that he usually does take up, right? Shivi on an op is not something that we haven't seen before. Scargod on the Jet also is a fresh take on what God Particles usually bring to
Did
the
he
table.
just did he just block Knight Rider from taking the Jet?
I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Scargod, I mean, we've coined a term called Scar Peak, given how wide this guy is able to peak. At least me and Aggie have that running joke, and when CA was here, even he used to participate in that joke. So, yeah, that Jet in the hands of Scargod doesn't really surprise me. Honestly, after I've seen these guys pick up Chamber all this often, nothing surprises me anymore. Although I must say that RBK going back to Killjoy is something that I haven't seen in a few months. This guy has been playing the Viper so often, and even RBK picks up the Chamber sometimes. So him going back to the standard Sentinels, the ones that are more so grounded ones, like Cypher and Killjoy, him picking up those again is, I don't know, a little bit nostalgic.
Yeah, and YB is just waiting for his team to do something different maybe this game. The Killjoy pickup is something that, like we said, is a little nostalgic, but you know what, I think it's been quite a while since we've seen RVK on a Cypher. I think it's been even longer than the Killjoy. So let's see if we do get to see it in the future, but for now, God Particles have a task on their hands. They do have a double duelist set up, but the problem is they are on the defense. How many rounds are they going to be able to get is the question. And we will figure it out in just a couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Small little tech pause, it looks like, at just the wrong time. Oh, the barriers have lost their color. They are invisible, but they are still up.
Now that is a rare instance of activating the pause timer at the very last second. So Judging by the cameras and the darkness in front of Excali's face, I assume his monitor has gone out. Has it? Oh yeah, that it is indeed his monitor having some issues, and the players confirm that as well. So yeah, we'll probably reset it. Although I must point out that Rexy is not playing along with the rest of his team. He's not in the same room.
Yeah,
Not
he's
sure
at home.
if he's at home or if he's in some other room in the boot camp.
Nah, I'm pretty sure he's at home.
All right then.
I'm pretty sure he's at home. But yeah, Enigma, start of the match itself, they are gonna have to try and make things a little slowed down. And there's YB again. He's like, oh my god, these guys are already disappointing me. What do you think he's thinking right now? Man looks so serious.
Yeah, man. YB's always got that poker face. So the first time I met YB was, I think, in 2019. Or at the end of 2018, start of 2019, somewhere along that. All right. And when we interact, this man, he speaks so slowly that I thought, how is he gonna give a call out in a fast-paced game like this? But then I noticed that he's a man of few words. But when he does open his mouth, there's nothing but pure wisdom that comes out of it. And even in terms of his face, he will never express his disappointment or his excitement. We've seen him dance sometimes, when we go out together. It's really a different kind of YB that we get to see. The YB that smiles and YB that sings and all that. But on camera over here or in the middle of a game, this man will never show something. Even if his teammates make a mistake or something, he will never point it out in the moment. He will tell you how to fix it and then, do the fixing later on after the game is done. In the moment, he will just never point out any mistakes. He will always try to keep the morale up.
Yeah, that is true. And there's a little bit of friendly banter going on between both the teams here. Wish we could show you that, but as much as we're enjoying this banter between God Particles and Enigma, we do have to consider the possibility of God Particles making a comeback. And that only starts with them trying to establish an 8-4 half at the bare minimum, because against Enigma, no matter the score, they are going to look to make a comeback happen. And they're pretty good at it as well. They're pretty damn good at making a comeback. And just as we say that, I think Excali has reconnected onto the server, and I think we will be starting off the game in just a couple of seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the delay, a little bit of technical issue, but with all things sorted, we should be starting. And God Particles should be looking to make their mark on the map of Haven.
First, they can make their mark over here. I do want to find out, though, what is Logista eating? We saw him have a few bites of his food just a couple seconds ago.
Yo, I'm gonna become hungry. No, I don't want to look at him. I'm gonna become hungry. If I'm hungry, I'm not gonna be able to cast properly. I'm just gonna be making food jokes, and I'm pretty sure you don't want that.
Nah, I definitely don't. I mean, I can't really say much about food, but if you guys want a bunch of Red Bull cans, then there is gonna be a QR code that flashes up every now and then. Feel free to scan it and get your Red Bull cans. Or if you're not patient enough to wait for it to load, just in the description below. But the round has begun, and here we go. Rawfuel and RVK have already died. Looks like we're a little bit late to the party, but maybe RVK can bring it back. While all of this is happening, somehow the members of Enigma are starting to swarm the C site, and it's just Logista left over here all by himself, no backup. One kill is all that she wrote for him.
Well, Enigma have taken over the C side. That's a plan going down thanks to Rexy and Shivy trying to crawl past any bit of corners that he can find to clear. RVK spots him out. A bit of a battle here between the two, and Shivy is taking him out. Yes, he will. A good shot with the Sheriff, but his bullets have drained from the Headhunter, and Nighthead is completely unaware of Antidote being towards that left side corner. One bullet to make a dream come true, but Shivy picks up a Sheriff, and he is just playing around with time right now, and Rawfuel will confirm his kill. First round to Enigma. The start of it was a little clean, gave away 2 kills, but no problemo whatsoever. That is going to be them starting off on their map with the pistol round.
Pretty nice default spread out by Enigma towards the start, followed by aggression towards Garage later on, and then followed up by C aggression. It kind of puts the members of God Particles in a fix because they can't really determine whether this hit will come towards B or C. So even when they start to rotate, they can't fully commit. They still have to hold a couple of angles in case Enigma Gaming try to go for a little flank or maybe like something that threads the needle. Oh my god, Scar got going all the way from short and now falling back by a long.
Yo, nerves of steel, man.
I know, right? Who does that? With the classic of all weapons.
What a guy. And look, he's going back again.
But that's
Scar
just distraction. He wanted to set up Knight Rider for success. So he got revealed. He knew that most of the players will focus on him. So that was the cue for Knight Rider to move in with the Marshal. Nobody else has purchased anything. Not even a Sheriff.
Yeah. Enigma don't even need to go towards this A side. They know there's two players here, maybe a third around the corner as well. They should expect it. And they should be moving back, but it looks like they want to take the fight to them. God Particles need to be a little careful here. They could win the round based on a little bit of a patient play. Rexy, no recon, no owl drone. They're going to be having to rely on Scally's Hound. The Tasmanian Devil will get one concussed, and Rockfield's going to be able to take out two. He is getting another shot to the head, and ScarGod, even though 12 HP, takes out one player, and they've done a little bit of economical damage, and that's all they needed for now.
Spike planted.
3 versus 2. This is Enigma looking to win another round.
They might even be able to pull this one off. The odds are not as bad. But the moment I say that, a shock dart lands on his face. Maybe Shivi can use the distraction that Ember is creating, but he gets interacted by the turret, so all of those factors are null right now. Just getting chased out. Oh my god, Excali is relentless in his pursuit of blood. He really wants Ember's head on the pike and he will get it. My god. The aggression in this man kind of scares me sometimes.
I mean, he doesn't care whether he's playing Sky, Breach, Raze, Jet. He's always going to be aggressive. That's just Excali, him being himself. But, yeah, I never noticed this.
Consistency.
What a beautiful place. It's so serene. But when you look down there, there's so much chaos.
Balance in all things, right?
All
Everything
things
that
should
does
be.
seem beautiful has some dark history behind it. I actually wonder what Excali's story would have been. Either way, that's not something we focus on now. Exchanges towards C, and even in a 4v4, Enigma still have the ball in their court because Raw Fuel is
Are you
unstoppable.
come on. Come on. There's no way he's supposed to win that duel against Shivi.
I know, right? I mean, he gets the duel onto Knight Rider, I understand, but against Shivi, that's bullshit. And Logista now, are you serious?
This is just Raw Fuel being the best self
Planted.
of the Jet that we've seen him be. Just running in, taking one-on-ones that he knows he's going to win. Finding timings upon the other ones. Not being the outright aggressive, not caring about every single corner Jet. But, no. No. ABK. No. You just cannot let your teammate die like that. Of course, yeah, he wants to be his own teammate. That's okay, I guess, you know.
No, I don't get it, bro. My mind is not able to compute this. Like, he saw ScarGod for all this time and pulled the trigger when ScarGod killed one of his teammates.
I mean, I think he pulled it right before. I think that first bullet just didn't connect. And if that would have connected, poor Rexy wouldn't have died. And
and then Rexy
definitely has some words for him.
Yeah, and of course, because Rexy, gives him a nice earful of bad words, he teabags him in return. Wow, like they're BMing their own teammates. That's new. But Shivi, that's a nasty shot. That's what I want to see from this man. Teleports back to safety, no problem. And while this pick on mid has happened, his teammate ScarGod has already pushed out of A long. He's ready to intercept anyone who shows face over here. But will Rexy peek?
Ooh, ScarGod, the dash is not going to work for him. That recon is in the smoke. He did not expect it. But he knew he was stuck in that situation. There was nothing he could do. No dash to run away either. And here's Enigma winning a 4th round in a row. Okay, Ember, alright. That's one weapon dropped and picked up. Looking for more. Excali is giving... Yo, come on, man. Come on, man. At this point, Enigma are just having fun. They're playing with their food at the moment.
He wants to put that tattoo down on the ground. Deliberately give out the sound cue and saying, "Hey, Ember, hello."
No, he actually
Hey
didn't even
there,
turn
I'm back
around.
here. Huh?
He didn't even turn around. Ember actually didn't turn around. I'm not quite sure if he expected it to be right behind him.
Yeah, I know, but even if it did turn around, Excali gets that kill any day and twice on a Sunday. We saw Rexy pull off those 180-degree moves in the last game. I haven't seen something like that from Ember yet. A triple stack on C. Now that's interesting. 3 defenders ready to stop them. But do the numbers matter? Apparently not, says Excali. Now he's got enough kills to pop the Seekers, and he's gonna find out there's 2 people over here. But does that discourage him from attacking C? I don't think so. Spike's still trapped in Cubby, but I must say that none of his teammates are over here now. Yeah, the Nebula comes in so that he can escape, and the Spike goes through undetected. But while RVK has taken control of A and he's managed to divert both the defenders over here, the Spike is also coming in this region, whereas it's absolutely unnecessary. They could have just gone for the plant on C. Of course, Enigma have no way of knowing this now. They're still playing it in a very casual and a very calculated manner without taking any risks. RVK, man, this guy is the very definition of a risk taker. Unbelievable when he takes up duels like that.
Him being the person that he's supposed to be, that is a sentinel who's supposed to be a little passive, supposed to be a little bit more down to the earth. He's just going and taking duels. Look at these people. They're just laughing. Antidote, Rexy, RVK. And you can see on the opposite side, the pressure's mounting on the foreheads of the players who've got particles. They can't really keep up with the pace that the side of Enigma are throwing at them. And that's resulted in a 5-0 scoreline. Now, whether or not a similar story can happen with them, what happened to Enigma in the previous map, is something we're going to have to find out, but I don't think it's going to happen this on. While Scar God is again jumping around.
Oh no.
That's ugly.
He was counting on the backup from Shivy so that nobody from A lobby can kill him, but he dies anyway. And now both the kills go in the favor. Shivy's still good for 1 kill, defending A like an absolute boss. But while that's happening, Ember steps up on B. Alright, then it seems like God Particle's finally starting to fight fire with fire. They've got all the kills that they need, but Antidote and Rexy have taken control of A. There's nothing that Shivy can do to stop the spike plant except for maybe get a kill as Rexy fades away from the spike planting spots. Will he still be able to spot him? I don't think so.
Yeah,
the angle he's holding, he's safe. Oh, no.
He's crawled away, and it's a 3 versus 2 right now with Backstab coming in, and Rexy does not expect this. He's gonna be going down, and there's Nitrata trying to get the position of where Antidote exactly is. Ember comes to finish him off, and that is a round that Ember needs to be credited for, and Shivy for that 1 kill as well. A good hold from the side of Ember on the B side, because he could have been taken out 3-4 times in a row. And him holding his ground, not being aggressive, patiently waiting for a head to come into his crosshair was what allowed them to win this thrifty round. Don't forget, Enigma started off their comeback on the thrifty round, so...
Oh boy. Oh boy, okay, patterns emerging again and again. I mean, if you take a look at the pattern of Haven up until now, every round that Enigma has been able to win, it's been on the basis of picks. They never really needed to execute into a side. They never even needed to plant because they always had the man advantage like 10-20 seconds into the round. The duels went in their favor almost every single time. Of course, that thing has changed, and now God Particles are able to win a round because of their thrifty weapons. But can they continue this? If they cannot, they will be back in the economic dumpster, and that's not a place where you want to be, especially when Enigma's already taken this big of a lead. While Enigma's starting to creep up towards the A side, Ember has already reached the bottom of C-Long corridor, and he spots nobody over there. It's a clear indication that Enigma is hitting A, and now the stack's already here. God Particles ready to defend this. The only thing working in their favor is this aggressive push from Rafuel, and it works. It buys a little bit more space, but can they continue? 1 more kill is all she wrote for him, and honestly, that's all they need. Now when the spike goes down, the only thing that can go wrong for Enigma is bad post-plant positions, but what even are post-plant? Excali doesn't care. Shivy jumps through heaven, and that's the opportunity they were looking for. Antidote stuck in this wall. Has no idea Ember's right behind him, and that's going to be his end.
Shivy knew exactly what to do, and that was just wait for his teammates. And that 3k that came in from Shivy, so clean, getting the first kill onto RVK towards window, and then following that up with another, and that clean 1 tap onto the last kill that he got was just brilliant. Got particles, they find another. And Enigma slowly will look like they're going to be slipping up their lead unless they win this round. This is a very important run for Enigma in terms of how the half is going to be, singing for them. Whether it's going to swing towards the 8 and 4 side, or is it going to go away from them to maybe a 6-6 or whatever it is. They need to win this round to have still control over this half.
Okay, then I feel very weird watching Shivi move around like that without any cover, without anything. Op pushed back from the position. Night Rider takes his place. When the lockdown gets committed, RVK will be the first person to try and get this done. But Night Rider's attempts to break the lockdowns fail. Scargod is trying to break it via wall banks, but it doesn't work, which means he's gonna get detained. But it's okay. They won't go out and kill him. Oh no, they don't kill the guy who's detained, but they end up killing Shivi instead. Rothfield is just absolutely criminal in this situation, pushing into heaven when he had no business doing so. And he still doesn't want to fall back. He's holding all these very aggressive angles which can easily get him killed, but does he care? No sir, he does not.
Okay, Rothfield finally pushed off of his ulterior motives, his upper limits, down to the ground. But Enigma have already won this one. Antidote sees the head, sees even the body being reconned, the heat wave signature, but Excali's there to clean him up. Ember, not allowed to escape. Gargod is going to be hunted here. Excali is being hurt and he probably will be killed as well. And Scargod will be able to save the operator along with Logista with a Vandal. A must-needed run for Enigma that they have won. And at least for them, they will have this half ending in a level score, if not more.
I still think that Enigma Gaming are trying to pull a little page out of the book of God Particles because in the first few rounds of the half, Enigma were holding their defaults. But now you see Enigma start to hit the sides in a more, how do I say this, in a more congested fashion when they stick together and they are playing as a team instead of defaulting. So this is a change that Enigma have deployed in just the last round. If God Particles don't see it coming, this could be bad. A contact play on B. They don't have any smoke. They just want to chase down Logista, and he had no idea. I don't even blame him. Logista could not have seen that coming. He never would have expected a contact play to come through, especially on a risky site like B, but they don't care. And now they're paying the price for it. That's what happens when you rush in without any smokes. But hold on. After getting control of B, they don't want to plant there. They're taking control of Garage and trying to go towards C instead. A massive change in pace, and that causes God Particles to lose their bearings and they don't know where to play their positions from. 1v1 duel between RVK and Night Rider, and even though this duel is kind of irrelevant because he's very far away, his teammates are dying while they are flashed and smoked off, and Night Rider really can't do much unless he boils it down to a 1v1. Now he has a massive chance. Time is ticking away, and Rexy, if he just manages to stay alive, that will be all he needs. The lack of a ping on the recon dot might tell him that he's behind him, but he doesn't find it out in time. And Night Rider, even though he's on the Empress form, he gets that kill. Oh, I really thought Enigma would be able to win this round, but then they kind of lost it when, RVK offered that 1v1, and the same thing happened with
Rothfield and Scargod.
Rothfield and Scargod. So, yeah. I kind of feel like Enigma had this one in the bag, but they just let it go.
And you can see it immediately, a timeout being called out by YB. He clearly noticed what went wrong and he does not like it. And that's exactly why he's giving out a couple of instructions. And that, honestly, like you said, that was an unnecessary push from Rothfield in the first part itself. Moving in towards A-Link, you've got control. You've pushed Scargod back when he's down lesser than half HP. But he does have an operator, so he is dangerous even when he's on 1 HP, right? So you need to be careful about making these pushes happen. And then they went ahead and let RVK take that 1v1 like we saw, which RVK could have easily avoided. He could have just run away. And one after the other, they just lost their players, and here we are.
So while the round did not work for Enigma, can we at least appreciate the contact play that they made?
Yeah.
People make contact plays on C and A, not on B, sir. No, they don't do that all the time. And when they do go for those contact plays, they have like one person present in that region, not the entire team. The rest of the team would be out working some other part of the map, and that one person on B, usually when he makes the contact play, it's usually to pick off a defender who's trying to rotate. But this is the different approach. Logista, man, can you even blame him? The guy's all the way towards C Link, not even trying to pick up a fight. These guys chase him down and they kill him. So yeah, of course God Particles would have been bamboozled like that, but they let it go. I still appreciate the play that Enigma Gaming made. So I think with a little more variation, they can easily wrap up a round like this, and it will be so difficult to counter them.
Check his corners. There's a blind coming in, but they don't check it. No, Logista. He will take down both of them. Ember hasn't even touched anybody yet. He's still in that corner. Rexy comes in through. He's gonna try and find a kill. He will get one. He knows where the other is. Let's not get blinded. Perfectly dodged, but RBK will take him down. Shivy misses the shot with the operator. Not known for using his weapon. This man is trying to make it work for his team. Goes up to the smoke. Will take out the planter. He might have done his job, but in this 2v2, RVK's got the upper hand. Look at this guy. No, RVK, just shoot him down. Just shoot him down. He will. In the end, that was all that was needed. Knight Rider's gonna try and make this round work for his team. 1 versus 2. He gets the first kill. Rexy runs away. And Enigma are struggling to cope up with what God Particles have done in this round. Being a little too reckless here, Enigma. This is completely unnecessary. And Rexy's left to clutch it out in a situation which shouldn't have even ever come across right now on their plate.
The fact that he decided to jump away is so questionable and so jarring to look at, but now he can just play from all the way on the other side of the map. He doesn't even need to stay close. He's got the Hunter's Fury, so he can laser beam Knight Rider if he tries, and of course Knight Rider recognizes that. So instead of tapping the spike, he continues to move forward, hoping that he'll run into Rexy and win the duel, but this is just a 50-50, and Rexy, he gets the better roll of the dice.
Enigma let that come in too close for comfort. That shouldn't have even been the way it did. They did not check that corner in the first itself. Logista got the better of them, and with that, immediately, even though Ember did not really create any sort of commotion over there, him being in that corner was a danger which could have been exploited, but Logista got the better of them. And then Enigma, even after they got control, their players were dying one after the other in unfortunate situations and letting it come to a 1v1, which should have never been the case.
Okay, that's a very aggressive Krabi position right at the start of the round. Ember being aggressive towards Garage gets only one, but in return, Enigma have found kills towards the A side. So they've got multitude of options now. They've got a couple of kills towards Garage and A respectively. So what do they do with this? Maybe they need a little bit more information, and they need it quick, because if they don't, then Scargod's backstab could very well be a spoiler over here. And the Seekers don't detect Scargod. Are you serious now? Excali could have never seen that coming. The Seekers go towards the people on B instead of detecting Scargod. Oh my lord, that's just bad luck, man. I can't even blame Excali for that one. Anyway, his teammates will try to recover it given that they have the man advantage. And the fact that RVK is towards defender spawn will result in an easy kill onto Logista.
Oh, Raw Fuel up against Scargod. Battle of the Jets here, and Raw Fuel's gonna come out on top of it. 8-3. We are heading into the last round of this half, ladies and gentlemen. Enigma have taken a good lead into this one. Scargod almost looked like he could have clutched that round out, but unfortunately he had two very different angles at polar opposite ends to take care of.
Yeah.
Raw Fuel found him being nervous at the right time, and that's going to translate into a round where Enigma have now got 4 ultimates to play with, and 3 of them are good at any situation to either get into the site or even play for post-plan.
Yeah, and the fact that God Particles don't even have proper weaponry is kinda jarring. Bulldogs and Guardians are all they have. At least they've got utility, so they can still hold Enigma down and get all the information if Enigma tries to do any funny moves. Of course, with duels not going in their favor, God Particles still won't have enough firepower to deal with this. And Enigma recognize this. They realize that there's not too many weapons in the hands of God Particles, so they might try something wacky, something extraordinary that only eco rounds face, and that's why they're holding back. RBK getting the first pick. It's a flash, not that great, and that's why Ember is still safe. The gravity well keeping him even safer, and Logista backing him up. That's the man advantage they needed, but Knight Rider, he might have just walked past the Jet over there. Rexy still gets the kill on him. Okay. Definitely some words will be exchanged between Rexy and Rafuel over here, but Ember could change the dictation over here. And Hirota spotted him out. Astra versus Astra battle. Of course, one of them is in full HP, one of them was on 1 HP. So it's not at all fair, but hey, it's the number that matters over here, not the HP. Oh
Well,
god.
it looks like it will matter because all that antidote needed was 1 bullet to the body, but as Ember had to connect 4. Rafuel listens to his opponent walking up over here. Shivi, for the second time on Heaven, is going to be killed by Rafuel pushing up. And that is the cursed scoreline, or if not, coming up for the side of Enigma. 9-3. And God Particles are in a very, very difficult situation right now. Having been completely turmoiled in the attacking half.
Yep. And
They
they
are-
did manage to take, but also not because God Particles did something great. It's because Enigma made mistakes. So yeah, that kind of paints a little grim picture now, doesn't it? The few rounds that you did manage to get, you realize that they were only possible because Enigma became a bit overconfident. If they still continue playing in the disciplined fashion that they do, God Particles are going to have a really hard time dealing with this. At least the defaults are not going to be successful. So if God Particles go for a full brute force approach, I wouldn't be surprised. It's kind of like the only options they've got left now. And looks like Garage is the place where they want to brute force. One-way smoke doesn't work, so Stargod just peeks wide and decapitates Rafuel like that. Antidote can't even contest this. He's gonna have to fall back. Hoping for overextensions. He finds Ember. Might have found Knight Rider too, but Knight Rider can't heal. So at least that's some, you know, semblance of happiness. Of course, they don't know that. They still assume that he can heal because he's Arena, but yeah, we know the truth. They don't.
Well, they might know that he's low because he does have a ghost, so they should expect that he has only 2 layers, which he used once. And there's RVK capitalizing upon 2 players being very low on HP. And this round just becomes doable for the side of Enigma. RVK needs to find the skill on Logista, and that's all they need for this round. A very ugly fight towards C-Long over here. And it's all left on to Rexy. Logista tries to jiggle peek him, but the half diffuse comes in. Rexy probably wanting to stick it. But Skargod will get the better of him.
Well, at least they win the pistol round, right? So that's something. This could very well be the start of a comeback. And oh my god, are you serious? They're pulling out Phantoms in round 2?
Oh, this is
Two
a
Phantoms.
little scary.
I know, right? Knight Rider and Skargod really leaving nothing to chance over here. They're like, Spectres are not enough against these Sheriffs. We have to go guns blazing. And I don't blame them. If I was in a desperate situation like this, then I probably would have done something similar. But yeah, picking up Phantoms in second round is a huge risk. And if they lose them, then they might as well just say goodbye to the game.
Shivi. Oh, Knight Rider covers him up. RVK going out with the Sheriff is not going to be winning anything over there. Gargot takes out Antidote, and Rafuel slaps him on the side of his cheek with a bullet with that Sheriff. Looking for more. Will get concussed, but he can dash away. Chooses not to. An interesting choice of decisions being made here. Rafuel will move out of the smoke to try and find Knight Rider, but oh! Big Scally!
Last player standing.
A series of unfortunate moments over there. Scally flashing himself. Rafuel could have killed Ember over there because he was in his yoga form. Knight Rider protected Ember over there, but yeah, a few kills can still go in the way of Enigma. Rexy still alive. Will reveal Shivi, and he takes him out. See, that's the Sheriff power. And with this, he's already forced Ember and Logista to go down to Spectres. They can only recover one of these Phantoms.
Yeah, they will recover one of these Phantoms. And that's the damage that the side of Enigma are looking to give. And Rexy did the best job out of all of them, getting 2 kills over there and putting their economy in a little bit of a shamble. And because of that, you can see Ember is now playing on a little bit of a drop situation where he has to give it to his teammate. Both Knight Rider and Skargod on half HP, Logista on just a Spectre. He does have money for a better weapon, but he's opting to play on the bonus. And this is going to be the most important round for the side of God Particles. They win this, they're back in the game. They lose this, they have a huge, huge task.
Enigma Gaming definitely not taking any risks. They're not even peeking out. They've left C completely to the devices of Killjoy and Astra. They're focusing on the B side instead, which is the right call. It's the exact place where God Particles want to go, and Antidote from the back of Gong is able to kill both of these players without any trouble whatsoever. Backup not required, so the rest of Enigma Gaming can continue holding onto their positions, and that's when they realize that Ember has already reached the bottom of C. But that is just a distraction. The spike is nowhere close to this region. So even if they kill Ember over here, it's not a big problem. The bigger problem is the spike getting killed in transit, and it won't happen. Ember and Logist are liberating this site. That's amazing. Now Shivi making his way inside, carrying the big nuclear football on his back. It's just down to Rexy. Spots them both out, but one tiny pixel is all that Shivi needs.
This round was a 3v5 in the first 10 seconds. And then it translated to this. God Particles had no business winning that one, but here we are.
Here we are indeed, and I mean, towards the start of the round, we pointed out that the players of Enigma don't really have any members positioned on the C side, only the Killjoy utility, so they could have never held on to the C side in the first place. But the fact that they tried to contest these fights before the spike was even planted is what gave God Particles the picks that they were looking for. Lord, Rafael has a massive task up against a Knob and a Phantom at the same time. Nah, son, not happening. At least his teammates still have control of a long. Andrew's holding a very off angle in the open. It's not even like he can dash back to safety or something. So, just a Nico round, just another day in the office for God Particles. Just another flawless thrifty. Anyway, let's get this round away. I mean, Enigma were probably never even looking forward to playing in this round anyway. They were more focused on this, the one where Rafael has an AWP and Antidote has the Cosmic Divide. Rexy probably might even go for some Hunter Fury moves if God Particles try to plant the spike and maybe deny that. Something that he hasn't been able to do every time they leave one of these sites unattended.
Yeah, most certainly. Now they've made back 4 rounds actually in a row, and they're immediately back in this game. It looks like the 9-3 curse could just be on the hands of the attacking side. It's a slow start to this one. Enigma playing this a little safe, not really going for those aggressive peaks, but Knight Rider along with his teammate Ember are coming towards C. Now they've been spotted. They need to get away from here, or they actually just need to move in. There's a good blind, and there's a good kill. There's 3, there's 4, and Enigma, Excali in particular, have completely decimated and made C Long into a graveyard.
Decimated, mutilated, and not at all scintillated. Holy hell, that was impressive. That is highlight material right there. Roll it back, ladies and gentlemen. One guiding light is all they need. And then Excali peeks out, RVK peeks out. They line them up, they knock them down like a set of bowling pins. And this is a perfect strike. 10 on 10.
Indeed, perfect strike. 10 rounds on the board as well. And a 10 out of 10 performance in that round, just like Crip said. God Particles is not out of it yet though. They've got economy to buy in for another round. While Shivi is looking to play on his ultimate, the Tour de Force has come out on the attack as they choose to go in towards Garage. A very heavy push indeed, but Skargod is going to be stopped in his tracks. Antidote will put down the concussion, but they will have control of Garage nonetheless.
I mean, if you throw enough members at it, then eventually you will get control. But now Rexy has something even better. They couldn't stop them with the utility, so they're hoping to stop them with the ultimate. It doesn't result in much, except buying them a little bit more time. But at least the rotation from the side of Enigma has come through, so if the C-side assault continues, then Enigma have something to hold on to. Numbers could be very, very tricky to deal with over here, especially when Enigma have so many stacked up, and Antidote just lining them up once again. Crossfire was perfect for them, as you pointed out, Universe. But the spike still continues to go towards C. That is a bit brave. And now it's just Logist left. He's got Seekers, so he can use them. But what information is he going to give them? He already knows there's 2 people on the C side. What is he hoping to do with the Seekers? Hoping to just grab the spike and run away?
I mean, the most he can do is push them back until the Seekers came in, and now they're back in position. But Logista, a 1v1 that he would have favored to win. Antidote shouldn't have done that, or at least should have done it with Rexy. And now this is an interesting position because Raw Fuel, good angle. Logista had his crosshair in the right place, but just not the right reaction. That is number 11 for Enigma, and they're slowly inching towards their 2-0 victory. And God Particles dwindling with a light of hope shining on them from a very far across right now. It was much closer early on in the map of Split. But with this buy, them losing this script is gonna be the end of them in this series. Because they've got no money after this. And Enigma would have just easily scoured past even after that small little 4-round comeback that happened.
Once again, Enigma Gaming holding on to the defaults, but this time a little bit more reinforcement towards Garage. That isn't the best call this time because now Particles are focusing on A. Raw Fuel, good for one shot, but he will now dash back to safety. Rex is good enough to hold on to shot, but that's all she wrote for him. Raw Fuel can't contest this all by himself.
How is he
so
alive?
he's rather gonna give up the side and play for the retake instead of dying all by himself.
Raw Fuel isn't supposed to be alive right now. He got spotted out by 3 players, spammed upon by 2, and he still survives. And there's an ultimate going down from both sides. And interestingly, we've got Skargott trying to replicate Raw Fuel here, and he's gonna be punished for that. He says, don't try my tricks on me, but this ultimate from both sides is perfect. And with that Seeker, Ember's been completely detained, and there is RVK capitalizing upon the spoils of the war.
Yeah.
Shivy left all alone, 1 versus 3, turns his back around, gets shot towards it. And with that, Crips, I think this is game over.
Match point.
Game over, match point. They've got just 1 life left. Can they make the best of it? They're gonna have to win 5 rounds in a row in order to just force this game into overtime and then some more if they want to win it and push us into map number 3. But Bind, seems like we might not see it. Things could very well end here on Haven, especially because God Particles don't have the best of weaponry. 2 Bulldogs and a Spectre. That's what they're forced to put up in the last round. Potentially the last round. Good dash, but Raw Fuel unfazed by it. Spots out 2 people, and now he's like, nah, I am not at all gonna stay here. Blade Storm comes out, but not for any good. Excali splashes do not keep him safe. They're just trying to keep some players alive, hoping that the antidote will come in and save them from this venomous pit over here. And he is so good. The captain stepping up, getting 2 kills. Could very well be the finishing blow. But Rexy putting up a drone over here. This could be risky. And antidote can't protect him anymore. Ember clutches this out. Oh my lord. This is just moments before disaster. The moment the drone was pulled out, I could see this clutch come through. I could see it coming together. Oh my lord. He still keeps his team alive. But that's just 1 of the 5 rounds that they need to win.
Yeah, but the one thing that I was surprised about is Raw Fuel not connecting even 1 shot. He fired 2, 3 almost, but 1 of them didn't connect. I don't know how, because we saw that Knight Rider was looking down on the floor for some reason, and Raw Fuel's crosshair was on him, so I don't really know where the bullet went. But if that kill would have come in, this round could have gone a whole lot differently. Either way, Enigma still have the upper hand, and God Particles struggling with their weaponry. Bulldogs and Guardians still in play, while the A side is being a point of attraction.
Excali, once again, the flash is perfect, but Ember just sprays his mouse to the right hand side and the trail catches Excali. A very brave dash by the fellow Skargott over there, but it's not him who gets the kill, it's Ember who finally put the bullet in Rexy's head. Very brave indeed, could have been borderline suicidal, but hey, as long as it works, I'm not complaining.
This is an interesting change of pace from the side of God Particles that seems to work for them. Enigma did not expect it. Excali was aggressive himself and he had to take that 1v1 fight over there, having no support but his flashes. And with that was the A side opened up, and with this is number 9 coming up for the side of God Particles. Antidote has to run away for his life. Chooses to go back and fight. Will get concussed. Tries to get away to safety, but he's being hounded by players of Enigma, and Ember with a consecutive 4K.
Man's got 8 kills in the last 2 rounds, jumping up to the top of the scoreboard, now sitting at 21 frags. Way to go, Ember. Way to keep your team alive in this game. But Has he done enough to give us bind? I must point out though, Scargod and his speaks so wide, so brave. Did you see that dash? Oh my god, I really thought Rexy would have been able to kill him. But he got protected by his fellow Astra, so Scargod lives to fight another day. But again, Scar Peak. We coined this term back in Season 1, and I'm glad to see that it's still relevant.
Fuel has a good understanding of where to find his opponents. Logista will get a trade though, and here's Excali in his usual position. He loves playing next to that green Radiant box towards C-Long opening. And here is only Antidote trying to protect this C side. He will get one, but not the other. Knight Rider escapes. He's still got a little bit of HP to work with, as Rexy is being scouted. And Scargod was waiting too long, but he still has control. Now it's on to Raw Fuel. It's a battle of the duelists here. And Raw Fuel has the spike under his feet. He's got the first one. Raw Fuel could shut this, but he's gonna be missing the first shot. Looking for a second. He's got time to work with, but he goes for the aggressive pick. And Raw Fuel clutches it out for Enigma. What a game from the aggressive Jet duelist here. What a match.
Whew. He's got the spike under his feet and the dreams of the gauntlet thrown on repeat. This man finishes off the members of God Particles towards the end of that round. And my god, I really thought God Particles would be able to keep themselves alive for just one more round. They found all the right picks. They cleared up the C site. But then, why was the spike still there? That's my biggest question.
Yeah,
I
actually.
really thought they would have been able to carry it onto the side, go for the plant like most attackers usually would. But that spike being located over there is what cost them the round. Of course, Enigma also made some mistakes in this game, but this was the mistake that cost God Particles a bit more dearly.
Well, a lot more actually. Not a single point taken away from this game. Let's go to the highlights and get back to what we saw was another Enigma Gaming stomping, at least in the first half of things, where they had a 9-3 scoreline established for themselves. In the beginning, it looked like Enigma were going to run away with everything that was given to them. They just took control, took everything for that matter. It was not just control of map, it was control of aggression, complete and utter disrespect towards what God Particles were throwing down, be it smokes, be it defensive utilities from chamber. It didn't really matter. They just went on and completely decimated them. And there were a couple of moments where they even were having fun, Enigma, and you could see it. And they were still doing pretty well until that one round clips. And I think everybody knows what I'm talking about, where YB immediately had to take that, timeout. And he was giving instructions to his team and tell, what the hell are you guys doing? This is not supposed to be the case. They did finish out the half after that, 9-3. And God Particles eventually were believing in the curse, were looking to try and make it happen. Won 4 rounds in a row in the second half, but that would be the extent of it.
Oof. I love the way how Enigma Gaming were using the first few rounds of this game. It kind of felt like a flawless symphony. They were able to get all the control they need, get multiple picks towards both sides of the map, and have so many options that sometimes they themselves could not choose where to go. And of course, when God Particles realized that they're getting picked off towards both sides of the map, they were like, yeah, let's play a little more consolidated towards Garage and the B region. We let A be a little more flexible. If you get the picks over there towards the start of the game, towards the start of the round, well and good. If they don't, then you can fall back and let A go for retake instead. This clutch though from Knight Rider, it's just sometimes I did not even realize that Rexy would be in situations like these where he will have to fight 3 people off at once. But yeah, these mistakes are what cost God Particles the game. They were very tiny, and sometimes it did look like it was a bit ambiguous about who's going to win the round. So I guess that's what keeps the game entertaining, right? Keep you on the edge of your seat, not being able to predict what the outcome's going to be, and both the teams trying to out bamboozle each other.
Yeah, that is true. And in the end, I think that God Particles did give a little bit of a fight. I think that they had their best moments in those 4-5 rounds that they won, starting off with this pistol round right here, which AVK almost took back, by the way. But eventually, God Particles showed that they were going to make a comeback happen. They came up 9-7, and that's where the dominoes started falling for them. Raw Fuel woke up and chose to, exert violence. Enigma as a whole became aware of what they were doing. And Excali, with that one round where we saw he got that flash and 3K, and then it was just, a spraying gallery towards C Long was what put probably the final nail in the coffin. And as much as God Particles could fight back to get out of that coffin, there was always somebody with a hammer waiting around to hit it right back in.
Carpenter at its finest can create furniture out of absolutely nothing. Similarly, Enigma Gaming can create opportunities out of absolutely nothing. Consider a round like this 5 versus 5 split, the spike still just on the edge of attacking spawn, and Enigma Gaming, they are not going for the rotations. They don't even need backup. Excali and RVK, even Raw Fuel, just hold this entire round together. And that was a great moment from Excali, a massive highlight reel. And in it's rounds like these that gave Enigma Gaming the edge, where they completely batter their opponents with brute force, sometimes not even needing rotations, not even needing the strats to come through. Just their firepower alone was enough. So in situations like those, you truly get to see how scary Enigma Gaming is. And in the other situations, you get to see Ember get hounded like this. The Seekers telling RBK where both his opponents are, spray transferring to them, and then Shivi having to fight off 3 different angles at the same time. It's a horror movie for this guy.
Yeah, he turns his back and he's got a bullet on one end. He turns his back on the other. He's got two more coming from the other corner.
Yeah, where does
And
he peek?
yeah, exactly. This round, there were multiple times that here we saw Enigma. They had control of basically the entire situation, and that's when they completely threw it away. 1v1s are a problem for every single team. You never really intend for it to happen, but when you're in the spur of the moment, it just does happen. You
Yeah.
give away 1v1s no matter how many times you think, okay, we got to peek together. But when you have certain angles that you know that you need to have two people sitting there, it ends up being a 1v1 just because you think you can kill that other person. But you are literally at the mercy of a coin flip. You never know whether or not the other person has got a better angle than you, has got a better positioning in terms of crosshair than you, or they've just got a better timing than you. It's just about how you find the best of it. And Enigma did find it in the end with Raw Fuel standing and putting his foot over the spike and saying, "You will not move."
It's decisions in those moments which make or break the game, right?
Yep.
Whether or not you get the pick is not the question. The bigger question is what happens after you get the pick. What do you do with that? Do you continue pushing forward for maybe the complete side control? Do you fall back to join your teammates and hopefully maintain the numbers advantage? There's no right or wrong answer over here.
Mhm.
But even if you make all the plays correctly, there's still a chance that you will not win. And sometimes I feel like that's what happened with God Particles. There were some rounds where they didn't make any mistakes. They got all the sides, they got all the picks, but then take that last round, for example. All they did was leave the spike packed. It wasn't a mistake as such because they were just trying to keep their options open. But who on earth would have expected Raw Fuel to be in attacking spawn as a defender? Who would have expected him to get there and discover the spike just lying over there? If it wasn't for him, then Enigma Gaming, they would not have been able to win or finish the game right then and there. Maybe we could have gone into overtime. So it is possible to lose even after not making mistakes. And I think that's what God Particles had to suffer today.
Yeah,
Not saying
most
that they didn't
certainly.
make any mistakes. There was certainly something that went wrong. Especially they have to work on the way how Enigma Gaming have so many backup plans. They need to be able to read onto those. I think that's the takeaway from this game for God Particles.
Indeed. And with this, we are at the end of our series for today, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see it, Enigma Gaming looking to stand strong atop the leaderboards. Let's go to the group standings of this group, only to see that Enigma are on top, comfortably sitting with 5 wins and 10 points, whereas God Particles will have the mark of that one loss now sitting across their board. 4-1-8 for them, while the remaining follow up, and this is the battle of how the top two dogs of this table has gone down. We've got a couple more matches left in this group, ladies and gentlemen. A few more for Salt Esports, especially because they've got 5 more to go. 4 more to go. The rest of them have finished about 5 matches each. So expect a lot of Salt Esports action coming up in the days because there's going to be 4 teams going up against them. But for today, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we've got for you. This has been a joy to not just cast but also to watch this match. It was a lot of entertainment from the first match itself, seeing completely blown out of the water lineups coming in terms of agents to this map where a lot of mistakes were made for both teams. And I'm pretty sure there's a couple of things that they need to work on Haven potentially. So let's call it a day and come back tomorrow because the TC Gauntlet Season 4 is not yet done. We're coming back tomorrow with a lot more action, Valorant action that you guys are going to love. So if you do love it, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. And of course, don't forget to check out the description for all the offers that our sponsors have got for you. Intel, one of the best, of course, processors out there. Go ahead and get it so that you can use the hashtag GameWithIntel and get yourselves the best upgrades. And not to forget, if you love the t-shirts that me and Clips are wearing, go ahead and check out 656. It's pretty good. It's a good jersey and it keeps you fresh as well. Thank you all for joining, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you all tomorrow in the TEC Gauntlet Season 4, powered by Crucial, Gaming Partner Intel, and Apparel Partner 656. Good night and happy gaming.
From the legends of memory and storage, Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products, precision engineered for speed and stability. Crucial Ballistics.
Hey guys, this is Herman and you're watching Streamer Reviews, where gaming streamers review the best new gaming laptops. All gamers want is a system that meets their need and can run their favorite games at high FPS. The MSI's GF63 Thin is a great laptop for this. The GF63 comes with an incredibly powerful 10th-gen Intel Core i5 processor. It's a hexa-core processor which lets you run more tasks at once and can boost up to 4.5 GHz of turbo in order to say bye-bye to both bottlenecks and lag, ensuring that low FPS will never affect your gaming experience. The Core i5 is also well supported by the GF63's GPU. Variants with the NVIDIA 1650 and RTX 1350 are both available. A solid RAM helps this Intel Core i5 processor access data at rapid speeds, allowing it to work efficiently and deliver the high FPS that you desire. The GF63 comes with up to 16 GB of DDR4 RAM, which is more than enough to meet your gaming needs. Being able to play some of your favorite online games at high FPS depends on seamless connectivity. Thankfully, the GF63 comes prepared with Intel Wi-Fi 6, which lets you download 3 times faster and reduces lag up to 75%. It's time to experience the peak performance with the Intel-powered MSI GF63 Thin. Get yours now. And do check out MSI's complete range of gaming laptops powered by Intel Core i5 and i7 processors.
One, two, three, let's go.